because perfectionism is a trap. Heavily, that perfectionism is the biggest killer of dreams and goals and innovation and creation. Delay taking action on something that you wanted to commit to, you are delaying what you could have been, what you could have achieved. And think about it, what's stopping you from committing? What's stopping you from getting to where you need to be? The whole idea of wanting to be perfect is so annoying, because realistically nothing will ever be perfect, because it's so important that you make the mistake before the exam. That way you know the mistakes to look out for. You will never be perfect. There will always be something that you need to nitpick, something that you need to change, something that you need to alter, because realistically, if you are perfect all the time, or if what you're doing is perfect all the time, that kind of just means you need to level up a little bit more. That means you're a little bit comfortable. And I think we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because only in your uncomfortability that you will get to that season, that level that you need to be at. If you're constantly performing at the same level for a while, if you're being stagnant, that's the worst place to be. I think even that you making mistakes, you thriving for things, you going hard for your dreams and goals, that kind of, it takes a lot. And your exam may look different in your life. That may be a thing of moving to a new country. That may be a thing of starting a new job. That may be a thing of applying for positions that you never thought you could even handle. But regardless of what your thing of trying is, whatever your exam is, you still need to make sure that you are not letting perfectionism stop you from getting where you need to be. Perfectionism is a trap. It's a trap because it puts you in a cycle of constantly looking for the 100% when really you can get working with that 40. You can get working with that 35, you can start working. There is such a risk of, you're supposed to be running, but you're walking because you're scared that if you start running, you're going to fall over and hurt your knee. Who cares if you fall over and hurt your knee? You have plasters, you have support, you have help around you. I think it's so dangerous to just be in a position of accepting that you can't do any better. It's so dangerous to be in a position of thinking, okay, I'm not going to start taking action until I've acquired this thing. Because what can you do right now, what you have? To give you some context, with my TikTok, when I first started, I kid you not, I would use canned tomatoes as my tripod, as in I would set it on top of the cans and then start speaking to the camera. What's around you that you can use right now that you may be neglecting because society has told you need to pump money into this or that, You can legit start today. And yes, it may not be amazing. Yes, it may not be perfect, but I think there's so much beauty in allowing yourself to start, even when you're not as comfortable or as confident as you think you need to be. The story of Moses. So God spoke to him and was like, yeah, so you need to help. So when God again went to Moses and was like, yeah, I'm going to use you to be the one to free your people, Moses started listing all his insecurities. Oh, he stuttered. Oh, he's too old. Oh, people will listen to him, etc., etc. Who cares about your insecurities, love? It's only you. Do yourself a good service and pick something that's make yourself uncomfortable and work with it. Commit to it. Commit to the bit. Because imagine if Moses allowed his insecurities to win. Imagine if that when my phone keeps telling me right now that my storage is full, imagine if I said, oh, I'm not going to film this video anymore. I'm going to delete this channel. Who knows where this channel will go to in a year's time? It may be in the same spot. It may be in a different spot. All that matters is that there's an important message to get out today that you can't let perfectionism continue to let you procrastinate. Imagine if when you were learning how to walk, when you fell over, imagine if you never got back up again. Imagine if each time that I got like a D or an F on an exam that I just didn't bother again. And don't get it twisted. You should never, don't get too comfortable with your mistakes that you don't learn from them. If you make a commitment to yourself in December of 2026 that you are going to do something, then ideally by December 2028, you should be in a different position than when you started. If not, you may need to evaluate, and that's fine. Reevaluation, evaluating constantly, looking at where you may have gone wrong, looking where you're going good, because we need to get in a position of celebrating ourselves. That is so good. It's totally fine if you make a couple of mistakes along the way. I still don't know how to edit correctly, but I'm telling myself that ideally by March, I would have learned how to edit properly. And I think as well, it's like, I know there's this whole sentiment of, oh, I need to be perfect before I start, or because like, oh, people will see me flop. This video could likely get 5 views. Only 5 people would know that I flopped. Do you know what I'm trying to say there? Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like, even if you're at the early stage of what you committed to, even if you're not entirely sure about like, oh, will it be worth it? How dare you tell yourself that you're not worth it? How dare you tell yourself that you're not going to commit because you don't see yourself as worth it? Future you is in a cage wanting to come out. Are you going to let him out? Are you going to let yourself out of that cage? Like, literally, like there's a version of you in 6 months' time that is just waiting for you to commit to what you've pledged to do so today. We're about to enter into a new year. Are you going to allow yourself to be the exact same person that you were last year? Are you going to allow yourself to miss what you could have been, to allow the world to miss who you could have been because you don't want to commit, or because you're scared you're not perfect, because you're not sure? It's okay to be unsure. We're all unsure, and that's fine. We're all figuring it out. Like, a CEO of a business will never ever make fun of you for starting your own business. But somebody who's on their couch, who's never like wanted to achieve anything, will always make fun of you. Why? Because your success threatens. And even if this is not about other people, what message are you conveying to yourself in not trying? In saying, I'm not going to start, I'm not going to take action, I'm not going to commit until I'm perfect. What message I send to yourself? And that's literally what I tell myself whenever I'm thinking about quitting something. That's literally how I avoid the temptation of falling into perfectionism. I just tell myself, there's a version of Tessie that's waiting to be unlocked. There's a version of me that's waiting literally. Am I going to let her out? There is a version of me that, damn, like think about it. Who knows how dangerous you could be if you were to commit? You may even surprise yourself. The goal that you may set to achieve in a year's time, you may even do in 8 months. And even if you were to do it in 18 months, that's fine as well. The main thing I'm trying to get here is that perfectionism is the biggest trap to fall in. Perfectionism and procrastination are twins, but they're fraternal. Tell me what the difference is. I just see with procrastination, you're holding off on something for whatever reason. With perfectionism, the reason is because you don't think that, oh, I could achieve this, or maybe I should wait until I'm 30. Maybe I should wait until like I've lost a couple of pounds. Just start now. Just start now, and if you make a couple of mistakes along the way, then you make a couple of mistakes along the way. But at least you know you've started, at least you know you've committed, at least you know you can reassess and reevaluate. There's so much danger in quitting before you've committed. Do not quit before you get to that position of where you need to. Who knows what that could look like for you, but do not quit. If you've committed to doing something, if God has called you to do something, how dare you like quit before you get there? Really. Give yourself time, give yourself grace. And if you need to stop and start again, that's fine. If you temporarily need to stop in order to get to your destination, then stop as long as it's temporary. That is fine. No one's gonna shame you for needing to take a break. No one's gonna shame you for needing some water. No one's gonna shame you for need to take a breath. But there is a massive disservice if you quit permanently. Stopping temporarily to catch your breath is very different from stopping permanently because you're scared. If your fear is what's navigating your ability to strive for something, your ability to commit to something, I'm gonna say, if your feelings aren't the best indicator because they can be easily swayed. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more content. Comment down below what you may be delaying or what you recognize that you